And then let me just... It's saying it's streaming now. So let's see.
Red Show Radio, episode 2.
Don't be stealing my thunder, Patrick. All right, it's up.
Yeah, we're good, man.
I see it, man. I see it. Oh, you know what I got to do? Hold on. I noticed something that's a little wacky here. Okay, so I need to... There we go. Now, we are good. Enable preview. Okay, we're good. So, let's, can everybody... we got to make sure everybody can hear us, I think. I can't... See, this sucks, because I can't tell, like, who's in the chat, who's not in the chat, what's going on. This is so messed up for me. It's not even funny. But we'll give it a second.
Well, I mean, you can always pull up a different thing.
I have... What do you mean I can pull up a different thing? What is that supposed to mean? What's that mean?
You can always like pull it up on your phone or something and see the chat.
Oh, that's true. I could. Well, I have my iPad here, but it doesn't show me like how many people are actually in the chat. It's like I'm watching it, and it's, you know what I mean? So it's a little different. It's a little off-putting for me at this point.
All
so
right, well,
let's just jump into it, and we'll get flowing with this. So
let's do it.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Red Shell Radio. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the most awesome-looking guy in tank tops in all the land, Patty Wagon. What's up, Pat?
What's up, man?
Happy to be back. Dude 427, man. He just hooked you up with a little coinage. That's awesome.
This is cool. Nickelback. Okay. Thank you for that. We won't talk about Nickelback. What's up, Robert Bear?
What is up, Robert Bear? How you guys doing? So, Pat, I have some notes this time. Okay. I came a little bit more prepared than the first episode because I felt like the first episode was going to kind of be more about me than it was you, just because that was my returning episode. This episode, I kind of wanted to flip the script a little bit. I wanted to kind of like flow through some stuff and, and kind of work through some topics. And then people can jump in and kind of add to these topics or not. But I would like, if possible, when we're on certain things, if people come in, maybe discuss those things, or they can twist it up a little bit and go like, hey, man, I want to talk about this, and that's fine. But, So, first off, before we jump into all this, so how you been doing so far? I haven't talked to you since, Sunday?
I know. I actually got a question for you because I know you're.
Oh, here we go.
You're into these classic games and these ancient systems. I just spent the past hour tearing apart my NES.
Yeah.
Trying to make it work. So basically, what's happening is it's starting up, but like I'm trying to play like Mario 3, and like half of Mario is showing. It seems like he's kind of like cut off.
Did you clean it?
I don't know what it is. I took the pin connector out. I cleaned it.
So, have you tried to play another game in it?
Some games don't even work. Like, the NES is mint. I don't know.
That's the one you just bought, right?
That's the one I just get. I mean, I'm getting a Retron anyway, but I kind of wanted the full experience.
I have the Retron, and I really like it a lot. I think it's phenomenal, really, seriously. And I use that word so much. I gotta stop using that word. I think it's really cool, dude. You know. So, but no, it's the Retron is really good. The nice thing about the Retron is you can actually stream with it because it has HDMI hookups to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I would get it because the whole content thing.
Yeah. So it's that part of it is really awesome. But honestly, like I don't know. I'm not really technical savvy when it comes to that stuff. You might, although Nick Militia, if you were to come down here, like you're supposed to, on the 25th, you could bring that thing down with you, and he would fix it for you. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. So let's do this. Let's jump into some stuff. So the first thing I want to throw at you, Pat, is where/who would you consider to be your inspirations for creating content?
Well, I guess the person that inspired me to do it was my dude Rob from Rule to Review.
Yes.
Just like, you know, he does like these 20-minute discussion videos. I think a bunch of people know who he is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I kind of just messaged him, you know, off the cuff. Wasn't expecting him to respond or whatever. And he did. And, you know, he gave me a lot of good advice. But there's a lot of creators that I personally like look up to, you know, just the drive that they have. Like, I mean, I found you later, but I love like the drive that you have and just the ideas that you have. Like, I like original stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look up a bunch of these like YouTubers and stuff, and they just do like similar type of things. But, you know, you and I like Josh, the BitBlock. He does a lot of cool stuff that I could never do. Like, it's just way too creative.
Very creative.
And then recently I've been like a lot of these classic retro game people are kind of inspiring me to do some more stuff. So it's kind of a combination of like, if you look at my channel, I don't just do one thing, you know, it's like a bunch of stuff. But
no, and that's good, man. Like that's kind of what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear like who, you know, just inspired you to get up and going and all that stuff, because that's always interesting to me to hear how people get going with all this, but also like who do they look at for inspiration? Who do they look at and go like, hey, I want to be like this guy, or I want to build my channel. Not that you want to swipe ideas, but it's more or less like you look at this person, you go like, hey man, I like what they're doing. They just inspire me to be better and to push harder. For myself, you know, it's funny because I was doing a lot of podcasting prior, and I wasn't doing a lot of YouTube content. Like, I was doing YouTube content, but my YouTube content was really based upon my video side of my podcasts. And then like sporadically I would think of a video I wanted to do, so I would go downstairs and do a video when I lived with Tony. And then it's crazy as it sounds, like I was watching Joseph Moran one day, and like I'm like, this guy is cranking out videos like a madman. This is when he was actually a content creator and did a lot of videos. Just kidding, Joseph. But no, seriously, like I looked at him and I was like, if this guy can do this, I'm gonna figure something that I want to do that will hit on a daily basis, and then I will do it. And that's when originally I came up with NintenTalk. And then when I came back, it came up as
I feel like I should leave right now.
Why?
No, you're good. You're good.
What's wrong?
No, you're good.
Why should you leave? What is going on here?
Just keep talking. Keep talking with that dude. Beautiful voice that you have.
So I'm saying, like, so I then I looked at it, was like I changed to Nintendo Guru Daily. But my idea was like when I looked at what Joseph was doing, that was what catapulted me to go, okay, I need to start creating content on a daily basis. And then I like looked at what Kind of Funny was doing, although I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to what they do anymore. I've kind of left them behind. But that's it. Like, but as far as like our circle, there's really nobody that's putting out content on a daily, on the regular, like very steadily. So
yeah,
I now have tried to diversify my and I look up to Roger, and Josh as well. So that's it. But the follow-up question to that for you would be, is there anyone out there that you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously, like, it's always cool working with people that are that have a bigger audience than you. Not just because of the possible gain. Like, I remember when we were doing the podcast with Josh, and then you weren't there, but we did a podcast with 8-Bit Eric. It's just really like people see the podcast itself, obviously, but then they don't see like the hour or two after where we're just talking and like talking YouTube, and it's just like really cool to hear like different strategies that they use, and it's just like, so, you know, obviously we want people, you know, for the content part of it, but it's also, you know, the afterwards I look forward to a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I worked with a good amount of people that I've been wanting to work with.
But there's nobody out there that you look and you go like, man, I would like to do something with them.
I don't know,
okay,
man.
You think I'll throw a couple of names out there.
Do it.
So N64 Josh, he filled in a couple times when I was gone.
Yeah.
And that basically, like, I've watched him and I was like, I want to do something with this guy. So that's a definitely. I don't want to do nothing with C&D. And that's not a knock at all. I'm just saying, like, I've met Alex. I've talked to him, but I feel like there's no connect there that I mean, who knows? But I don't know. I don't know that I would want to do anything. I've done stuff with Roger. I love working with Roger.
Yeah, that's someone I guess Roger would be.
You would really benefit from doing something with Roger.
Yep. I guess, you know what, there is one thing that I kind of would want to be on. So Spawncast, Spawnwave is a really good. He's more of like a tech YouTuber type thing, but he does do a lot of Nintendo stuff, and I love that podcast. I don't want to like hound him, but I would love to be on there.
What about Philip Mewson? Would you want to do anything with Philip Mewson?
Philip, he used some of my content for a couple of reviews.
Stop. Did you see?
Actually, you know what? He's talented, but he's done now.
Yeah, he's done. Did you see today? I did a video today, and that's why I kind of brought it up a little bit. But I did a video today. He like plagiarized his resume.
Dude,
his LinkedIn resume, dude. It's like it just gets worse. But I don't want to dive into that one because that's a bad rabbit hole to go down.
Someone retweeted my tweet that I made about him, and they're like, imagine if this was your view on things right now. And I'm just like, dude, this was 5 days ago. Like, we're done with this. I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of over it all.
Yeah.
So here's a question. So real quick before we get moving forward, though, if there is anyone that wants to jump into the phone call here, wants to talk to both either Pat or myself, you want to ask Pat a question, you want to ask me a question, ask both a question, whatever it is, you're going to go into the Discord. You're going to go over to the NintenTalk Discord. You're going to go into the general voice chat, and then Pat will bring you in, and you can ask us questions, whatever it might be. Anybody, you have questions, please go over there now and do that. So I guess at this point, I don't know whether you want to talk about, have you played any more Flipping Death, or you kind of, you know what, I can't talk about that. I'm sorry, I can't. When I wrote this list up, I forgot I'm actually doing a review Saturday. So after that, we can actually do something. So my bad. I apologize. I shouldn't even have brought that up.
I've actually been I've been playing my 2DS XL, which I kind of talked about.
Here we go.
I picked up Hey Pikmin before you yell at me.
Really?
So I actually enjoy this game quite a bit. I mean, it's not a Pikmin game at all.
Wait, why would I yell at you for that?
I don't know. Everyone hates on that game.
I love Pikmin, and I've heard some good things about that thing. So, but we have a caller right now. So let's bring in Mr. Joseph Moran, Mr. Bad Bay Games, and let's have.
I heard about this guy.
Hey, how you doing, Joseph?
Hi, hello there. I am looking for my son, and my question is: have you found my son? Have you seen him? His name's Jeremy Renner. He was the Hawkman in one of the Avengers.
Hi guys, what's going on?
What's up, man?
First time, long time.
You said that last time, so it's not first time.
Long time caller here.
Listen. First off, I want to say, like, how are you doing, man? I saw your little your post on Twitter. Are you doing okay?
What's up, man?
You know what, guys? I'm all right. You know, Guru. After we had a very long talk a couple days ago.
Yeah,
it gave me some perspective on things. And
which talk are we referring to? Because we've had a couple talks over the past couple of days.
Oh, you know, it's kind of hot and heavy. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Okay. Was it the Philip talk?
Yeah, it was the Philip talk. You know, and it was a great talk, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, and it got me thinking about social media a lot more. And you know, the next day I'm looking at Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's just like
it's toxic as hell, man.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is disgusting. So I needed to take a break from it.
Yeah.
And I just needed to take like just a break about everything, and just needed to kind of restructure myself. Just think about like, because I felt like I'm a little lost in the woods right now.
Yeah.
Right. When it comes to things, and I lost that passion, because when we were all yelling about Philip and all the drama that has ensued, and like arguing back and forth, that whole day I forgot. Man, it was the anniversary of my grandpa passing.
Oh, wow.
And all this bull crap
Yeah.
just consumed me, and I didn't realize what was really important. It's like the people I love, maybe. So maybe let's just chill out a little bit, be nicer to each other, because, you know, we're just all, you know, we're all going through life.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Planet Nintendo podcast that came out yesterday. And I went back and I watched it, and you and Joe, man, you and Joe after work, Pat, you need to really rein me in, man. Like, you guys just let me go off, and it's like, then I'm sitting here dealing with the repercussions of the aftermath.
No.
But it was fine. It was because I talked to you before it even aired, Joe, and we had a conversation, and that was essentially what it was Joe was on one side of the battle, I was kind of on the other side of the battle. And I was like, we need to talk this out.
You know what's beautiful about this thing, though? Like, Bobby, we at the end of the night, we understood each other.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We didn't necessarily agree 100%, but you know what we did? We were like, and this is what the internet could take just a little slice out of, a little lesson, is we saw each other's side. Yeah. We respected that call. Yeah. We just walked away.
The thing is we should really, this is the truth, we should really record one of those, because we've done this on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
And
so you guys did talk it out?
Oh yeah, man, we talked. We talked for about an hour. You know what I mean? And it was
some hand stuff, but mostly talking.
And it was after I got done the Warp Whistle podcast, I jumped into a Discord call with Joe, and we just talked it out. And it was more or less, you know, just like, basically I was explaining to him what was coming up in the Planet Nintendo podcast. Like, I was like, these are the things I said, and here's why I said them. You know, and I was like, because Joe, you know, like, and I was basically saying, like, listen, man, I think that you need to come from a better place. Like, what, you know, and for those that watch the show, like, you know, basically what my points were. My points were, I just didn't want to see this guy kill himself over the attack and the hate that was coming down. And, dude, you can get to a really dark place mentally from something like this, you know? And that was the thing I didn't want to see happen. And I didn't want anybody that attacked him to feel like, oh my God, dude, I killed this guy. Like, that was the main thing. Like, and, you know, we had a conversation about the plagiarism that I informed you on.
Yes.
That took place.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Fucking God, guys. Yes. Tell me, that's a problem, right? You guys gotta let me in on some things.
Well, you know, the thing of it is I thought you knew. I didn't realize you didn't know. And then.
No.
And then I came.
You know, Sean gets very Canadian about things.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
very,
like,
he's very,
you know,
he's always.
Oh, sorry. You know,
it's the thing with Joe, or it's the thing with Sean that he does. He's very Sweden or Switzerland. He's very like middle of the road. Doesn't want to take sides most of the time.
Yeah,
I think the worst thing that happened, because I think we were all sick of you know, everyone attacking him and stuff. But then Philip came out and he was just like, try to find things, and it's just like.
Oh, that was the dumbest thing he ever did.
Yeah. And then there you go. It's like dozens. It's like
it's horrible.
People are tagging me and stuff, and I'm just like, geez, man, this guy really messed up.
And that's the thing. That's the point I want to get at. Like, and I even said that in today's video. Like, I will not apologize for my points of we should not attack him, we should not bully him, we should not.
No, don't do that shit. No.
But I've said from day one what he did was the most horrendous thing you could do, and that's where we come down to, and it's like, you know, and it's just gotten worse. Like, the worst thing he could do is, the best thing he could have done is, he could have been like, guys, I screwed up. All he had to do was say, like, I didn't know the rules. I'm actually, because I don't write reviews. I don't do, like, if I was to do something like this, and I really genuinely didn't know, guys, I'm a moron. Totally screwed up. I thought what I was doing was okay. I apologize. I realize it's not okay. I'm never going to do it again. he just was like challenging Kotaku, and it was like game on, man. And they were just like every single day they're hitting with more stuff, dude. When I saw the resume today, I was just like, dude, you just cut and pasted that. Like, zero thought went into that thing. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. I wrote better reports in fifth grade when I was basically copying word for word. I have an encyclopedia, you know?
And the thing, like, I was getting through, too, is, like, we all saw, like I saw Bobby's side, and it made me... And, like, and like, he obviously knew mine.
Yeah.
And he made me see... I feel like that video, to me, is perfect until we get to the 8-minute mark.
Yeah.
And that's where I derail, because I turn into Anakin Skywalker. Revenge of the Sith. I have brought justice, peace to my new empire.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's like the thing. And one person actually went to me and said, you shouldn't have gone that far.
Yeah.
And I wrote to them, and you know what I did? Philip, take notes. I apologized. I was like, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't have done that, and I regret it. And I was like, I was driving to meet my friend at Starbucks, and I was just thinking about that video because it did rather well. I got a few subs off of it, but I'm like, I don't feel good about this video.
You said that to me right off Jump Street. Right off Jump Street, you went into the call and you were like, man, I don't feel good about this place I'm in. And just so you know, like on the private side, me and Pat and Joe were talking before, actually after the show went off the air. And that was basically the consensus. Like, you were doing a hot take video, and it was like, man, he doesn't really want to go down that road. Because that road...
I saw the path of darkness, guys.
It can be... I mean, listen, it can be rewarding in terms of, like, get you a lot of quick subs. But, man, that same crowd that's with you for the hot takes, man, they could turn on you in a second. And that's
you know what though? I think Bad Bit it kind of works for you, man.
No,
I feel like
that is not what you were saying the other night. Don't bait this guy into doing something, man.
No. I said that it was kind of dangerous to do that because you get that ugly, mob mentality crowd that loves picking on people and stuff. But at the same time, like the way that you word stuff, you go over every single angle of it, which I can respect. So. I don't know. It might work for you, man.
Well, so usually we're getting into like the science of this, but usually like most of my videos here are hot takes. Like they are like I don't have a script. Sometimes I have an outline, but it's just me talking. And it's so like with that video, I was just like, okay, so how am I approaching this?
Yeah,
and all that. And I feel like to me, everything feels genuine when it's more off the cuff. So yeah, I regret that. I regret that 1 minute. Please don't threaten this guy. Okay, don't attack Ninja because he won't play with women. Just don't watch the content. That's all you have to do, guys.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do. And here's my question. I want to get back to
let's get back into the thing.
Sick of this. I'm sick of talking about Philip. And you know what? You shouldn't have trusted him anyway because he doesn't even spell his own damn name right. Plagiarized that too, right? He's like, oh no, this looks like too many Phillips. So let me just put an F in front of it. Diablo 3, guys.
I had that on my list here, so I did want to get into that.
Yes.
So
I want to know your thoughts on this.
Diablo 3 leaked today. Forbes magazine leaked. Now there was an update on Nintendo Wire. Nintendo Wire is basically saying that tomorrow Blizzard is going to come out with everything and unveil everything. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited because I played Diablo 3 a little bit on the PS4. But I really didn't have any because I got to the party so late. With it coming to the Switch, it's going to be very similar to Fortnite where everybody's going to be jumping in on it. And I can't wait to get some parties together and like us go adventuring and stuff together. Yeah. Plus additional content. They're going to have Zelda content in it and stuff like come on, dude.
And if it's anything like the Last of Us content they put in that game, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really great.
My question, I have no idea what Diablo is.
What?
Never played it. Don't know what it is.
Dude. Oh my god. What is wrong with you, man?
Don't know what it is.
What do you?
Is it like Dark Souls?
No. So it's kind of like a top down. It's
a top-down action RPG.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like basically, you're running around, you're doing stuff. You have swarms and waves of enemies coming after you. You can actually get into like 4-man groups, and you can have like a mage and like a hunter and all these different a healer and all these different groups in the party, and then you just run through this world and go on through. But and
everything's procedurally generated.
Yes.
The dungeons are all procedurally generated.
It's a lot of fun.
Is there a date with this, or is it just a leak?
They're just saying this by the end of 2018 it'll be out.
Now, my question with this, guys, though, is it's going to be $59.99.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that.
Tax. Are you okay with it?
No, the reason why I'm okay with it is this: it's not just you're not getting just the game; you're also getting the expansion packs in with it. Plus, there's new additional content with the Zelda stuff. So for me, it's like I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it. You know, it kind of is.
So it's coming out late 2018. It's a full price game. Where does this fit in with that's a mistake, man. I feel like it should come early next year.
It's a mistake if you can't really say it's a mistake because we don't know where it's coming in at. It could. Like if it comes out before Pokemon, it's a different genre. So here's the thing, Pat. This game is good for Nintendo because of the fact that this is a hardcore game. This is a game that the hardcore can get behind. This is a game that I remember when it came to PlayStation, Greg Miller was all into it, but he was but when it hit the Vita, he exploded. And he was just this is where it's at. So it's very similar to that where because you have the portability of it, dude, this game is so much fun, man. This is going to be a blast.
I just feel like anything after October is a tough sell if it's not Smash or Pokemon. I don't know.
I think you're mistaken. I think you're going to have a lot of people Smash, yes. Pokemon, because Pokemon's not really what the hardcore Pokemon fans are looking for. Don't get me wrong, they're going to buy it. But at the end of the day, if this comes out before Pokemon, which Pokemon's not coming out till November, Smash is coming out December. Dude, if this hits September, October, they're fine. They're more than fine.
Here's my second question, guys.
Go ahead.
Crossplay? Question mark.
Well, I brought that up in my video today. I'm hoping there's crossplay. I mean, obviously Sony won't be a part of that. Right. But I would love it if Xbox and PC was.
What about you, Pat?
I think it's going to be the normal suspects. Sony's not going to play nice, but
now me and I don't know who listened to the Warp Whistle podcast this week, but Mark Carabin brings up a point that Bethesda is kind of taking the first shots at this whole thing. And there's a game they're putting out for Skyrim. It's that card game that's coming out.
Yeah, Legends. Yep.
Yeah, and they've basically said that if you don't have if you're not part of crossplay, the game's not coming to you. So it's kind of like an FU to Sony without saying FU to Sony. Todd Howard has been on record to saying he's pissed off at Sony because of the fact that they're not bringing it to.
Well, not pissed.
He's annoyed. He's annoyed with Sony because Fallout 76 won't crossplay.
Yep.
So this is kind of one of those things that if any company has the balls big enough to do this, it's definitely Bethesda. Bethesda will be that type of company to be hey, Sony, so you want Skyrim on your platform? Yeah, we're not going to bring it. They may bring Skyrim, but they might be the online aspects of it. No, you're not getting it. I could totally see them doing that because they just don't care. They just have the biggest sack in the world and they just swing it all over the place. They like to teabag the world.
Oh boy! Oh my goodness.
I think it'd be a bigger deal.
PG show, guys.
It's on Pat's channel tonight, so it's it's a little different.
It's so that's what G rated G.
Rated P for Pat.
That's true.
I feel like if it was a bigger game, it would have a bigger impact. But I don't think that. I don't know. It's pretty much a mobile game, isn't it? Is that the mobile game?
It's kind of mobile, but it's a card game. So it's kind of all these different card games they have out and stuff. So it's it's like the Blizzard card games they have out and all that stuff. And it's
but last question.
Go ahead.
What's up?
Before I have to record the trophy room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for.
Oh, good God. Don't be pimping that bullshit in here.
Whoa, Bobby, language.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is this the test? Just like LA Noire, where Blizzard's testing the waters to see how their games fare.
Yeah.
Could this mean if this game sells well, guys, I want to get you guys pumped up.
Overwatch.
You might see Overwatch.
So here's, go ahead, Pat. You go first, Pat. I'll let you go first.
If we could see Overwatch,
well, he's saying is Diablo 3 the testing bed for it?
Honestly, I think we're at the point now where anything is up for grabs. I mean, we've had Wolfenstein 2, we've had Doom. The new Doom is coming out, which looks incredible in every single way. I don't know, man. I think that anything is up in the air as far as coming over. I think it's more of the developers wanting to put in the extra effort, because it is tough to compress these big files and stuff like that. I think Overwatch would do fantastic. I mean, Paladins right now is doing really well, especially since it is a free-to-play game. Yeah. So I think Overwatch would overtake it.
I just think the only problem with Overwatch, because everybody's like, oh, it's not graphic intensive. I think it's, but what's the physics engine? What are they planning so far ahead? Those are the real questions I ask.
So my thing is this, real quick. First off, thank you, Cratchy. I appreciate the compliment. Secondly, I want to throw out the fact that I feel like this is very similar to Fortnite in the fact of Fortnite went to all these other consoles, and then the minute it came to Switch, an eruption happened, and just caused shockwaves throughout the system and throughout the gaming community in terms of everybody wanting to play this game again and get on board with this game again. So I think that Bethesda throws Diablo 3 out. I believe it will sell well. It will be very similar to an Octopath Traveler and all these different games that have continued to move well on the Switch. It'll continue that tail, and it'll surprise Blizzard, because I think Blizzard is looking at this probably with not high expectations. It's the first game they're actually bringing over. I also believe Crash Bandicoot was probably a test for Activision, which owns Blizzard. But I think at the end of the day, they would be pleasantly surprised to see Overwatch come over. But not only that, if they're not looking at what Paladins is doing, they're crazy to be doing. They're losing money by not coming to the Switch. Because I also think it would revitalize what Overwatch is doing, get everybody fired up again and on board with it. So I think this is a move. But the other question that I have that I would throw at you guys is, do you think, because it hasn't come to home consoles yet, but would something like a WoW ever come to Switch?
Loktar Ogar for the Horde now, unfortunately.
You don't think so?
No,
I was playing WoW before. Again, Horde, Blood Elf, Demon Hunter. Don't like to brag. But the thing with WoW is that there's so many inputs. It's so I was playing and I went to pick up my phone to do whatever, and then I went to grab a controller. I was like, oh no. The basic rotation, it is a 4-button rotation for most things in WoW, but you see, look at any WoW gameplay, you'll see bars of abilities.
Okay.
You have at least a dozen or two abilities that you need to swap in and out of, and it just doesn't work on a controller, unfortunately.
Okay.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I would personally love it, because I don't touch PC because I'm not here for Excel sheets,
Yeah. Well, the thing that makes me curious about that was because that controller that Joe After Work showed us last week, it's a keyboard that your Joy-Con slot into, and it's a keyboard. So
I would love it.
It basically is, I want to say it's probably the size of the Switch. So you dock the Switch, right? And then you slide the Joy-Cons into the sides of this keyboard, and then it works. You could type and do what you want to do, and it's pretty cool. So that was what made me really think of it. That would give you your communication side of it. Obviously, voice chat works because we've seen what Epic was able to do. So that side of it would work. It just makes me kind of curious.
I still think a good fit would be Smite. I think Smite would do really, really well on here.
Okay.
That's not owned by anyone, right?
Smite is owned by the guys that do Paladins. Hi-Rez.
Okay. Well, then that's a possibility. You can see it come, because Paladins is doing very well on Switch at the moment. Yeah. So
I love Smite.
Yeah.
Also, if I could end this, because you guys talked about inspirations, there are two people that inspire me on a daily basis. Okay, A, Joe After Work. Let's give a round of applause in the chat. Can we get some Joe After switches in the chat? Thank you so much. That guy, let me tell you something. So much energy. I don't know how he finds it. And he's the nicest human being.
Yeah.
And he's the most handsome person.
He's the best.
And he has the most perfect hair.
Oh.
Come on, guys. It's
Listen,
unfair.
you say that because you've never podcasted with him at 8 o'clock in the morning.
But I bet he's just
a different guy, man.
He's a different guy. That camera comes on and he just looks like a train wreck. And then he's like, hold on for a minute, and then he like walks away and comes back, and he just perfection. But we do see him at
girlfriend's doing his makeup. He's a diva, dude.
Yeah, he's a diva.
Big diva, dude. And Bobby, of course, man,
thank you very much.
Because let me tell you something. Your Guru Dailies have inspired me to just kind of. Because my biggest pet peeve is like I'm always very stiff on camera because I always want to make sure I get the information out, and I forget to be entertaining sometimes. Yeah, to have fun.
Yeah.
So like my latest, like my last two intros, I think are the best I've ever done. It's all because you fall off a damn ladder.
Dude, I hurt myself on the last one. I'm going to tell you right now. All I did was fell with a couple of boxes in my hand, and my leg is like, dude, I got to stop doing this. I'm going to kill myself, man.
When was that?
When was it?
Yeah, when did you fall off a ladder?
That was like the second or third episode I did.
Oh.
If you go into my Discord and look up in the Guru GIFs, Rybo made a GIF of me like falling off.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I didn't know.
It's like
I thought it was a Life Alert commercial
No.
or something. Love you.
Bobby, every time he's like, "Hey guys, I got this chair. It goes up the stairs, 0 to 60."
I don't have stairs here, man. I don't have stairs here. That's why I didn't buy stairs.
All right, guys. I love you all. I
Joe,
gotta do a podcast.
No problem. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you, Joe.
Also, when you find my son Jeremy, let me know.
Oh, good God. Okay, so the line is back open. If there's anybody that would like to jump in and do a call with us, you are more than welcome. The other thing I want to jump into, Pat, a big news story that I covered this week as well. Ninja. Those that don't know who Ninja is a big streamer on Twitch. 10,000 followers over there on Twitch. He has like 10 million followers on Twitch. He has like 16 million subs on YouTube. But he basically came out this week. He did a Polygon interview, and the interview came out this week, and he said he does not want to stream or work with women based on the fact of, like, he's afraid someone might, like, grab a clip, augment it, and make it look like it's worse than it is, and then it do damage to his marriage. The internet blows up and basically says that he doesn't like women, he's afraid of women, he's a sexist and all this. What is your feelings on this?
I feel like if he is at all trying to protect his personal relationship, leave him be. Yeah. I don't think this is a case where he's like, I don't stream with girls because they're not gamer. Like, it's not. I don't think it's a personal attack on women or whatever. I just think it's a personal choice that he's made. He probably didn't word it right. The story probably didn't come out right.
Yeah.
But I think it's just something probably him and his wife talked about. He doesn't feel comfortable doing it. But it's become this big, like, everyone against Ninja thing, which I think is it's definitely unfair.
It's a bit much, in my opinion. In my opinion, my assessment, I feel like it's a bit much. Like, coming from a guy, and I talk about this in a video I did about it a couple days ago, coming from the perspective of, like, I lost my marriage. Partly because of this, partly because of other things in my life, but a good portion is, this, where I just basically ignored my wife for the content and for the stuff. I'm like, I'm not gonna beat the guy up for this. Like, I know where he's coming from. Like, if you love your wife, you love your relationship with your wife, why would you even test it at all? And listen, we know how the internet is. It could be a situation like, I'm going to throw hypotheticals out there. You know what I mean? Like, he does a stream with Miss Click, and maybe she says something like cutesy, and maybe he doesn't even respond to it. Maybe he says something later and then people splice that together, make it look like it was something that it wasn't, because that's what we do now on the internet today. We take things and mash them together and make it look like it's more than it is, and then boom, there you go. You know what I mean? Like, that's bad, man. That's really bad.
I also think it's kind of lost in translation a little bit too, because Ninja is like at the top of his career. Like, he's at the peak of like what he's gonna do. So you have to be kind of careful of who you even collaborate with. Like, you don't know if they're in it for the right reason. Like, if you had like 2 million subs, I'm very sure that your DMs would be filled with people like, oh, let's collab, and like half of it I think would be genuine, half of it would be to gain something out of it. So it's like he's probably picky and choosy. Does he even collaborate a lot anyway? I mean,
you'd be surprised. What he does is, a lot of times what he does is he
duos and stuff.
He does duos. He opens it up to the stream and lets people come in and play. Plays a lot of time with little kids. Obviously, he's the biggest is Drake. That was the one that basically, to me, that's what put him on the map. I didn't even know who the guy was until that went down. That was the moment that kind of, honestly, that's the moment that made Fortnite, in my opinion. Because Fortnite was kind of riding the wave and starting to work its way up, but then, Ninja and Drake do that stream together, and it was like explode like the next day, because I think they had like 500,000 people watching or something. So the crazy thing for me is like because of all this, I started watching some Ninja streams. This guy is a beast, man.
Oh, yeah. He can back it up.
Dude, I have never seen someone like... Dude, he's building like this. And then, like, he's jumping out and building underneath himself. And, like, I'm like... In the blink of an eye. Now, a lot of that is because he's got the advantage of, like, keyboard and mouse. Like, I think that helps a lot. It's a huge advantage over to, like, us where we're doing controller-based. But, man, it blows me away watching this guy build. And like fight and do what he's doing. I'm like,
so Robert in the chat actually brings up something that I kind of mentioned, but it's kind of a different take. And he said all it could take to ruin his career is one girl coming out and saying he was inappropriate with me.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen with even guys too. Like, he needs to make a decision. Like, who am I going to stream with? What I do, because now he's sponsored by like, what is it, Red Bull or something like that? Yeah. So, like, I don't know. He has a lot to lose. Let's just say that. But
and that's with anybody. That's with anybody. Like you said, it's with anybody. Like, if he gets with the wrong person on stream and, dude, they drop the N-word, he's associated with that. And it's like, goodbye career. Like, it's over, man. And as bad as that is, like, you always have to think in the back of your mind, who are the people you're working with? Who are the people you're collaborating with? Like, I've had people, like, this is no lie, like, I think Josh Thomas is probably, him and Colin Moriarty are probably the two most controversial people I've ever had on Nintendo Talk Live, right?
Yep.
In terms of, like, just draw pure hatred off of the fact that, like, their names alone. I had people do rebuttal, so the worst it got was I had someone do a rebuttal video to my first having him on Nintendo Talk Live, Josh Thomas.
Wow.
Like, basically saying that they expected better of me than having someone like that on my show, that he's racist, he's sexist, he's ridiculous, misogynist, and I'm like, dude. And then, of course, he throws in, well, because he supports Donald Trump, and I'm like, just because someone supports Donald Trump does not make them the most hated person in the world. Like, some people, everybody does what they do for their own reasons. It is what it is. But, like, I talk to Josh. I know the person that Josh is. He is not what you're claiming he is. And it's like, wow, man, you really believe that this guy is all these things? Like, that's horrible, man. So, for me, I look at that and I'm like, that's brutality, man. So, if I can get hate, right, and I'm a small guy, if I can get hit on and beat up for it, and even the same thing with Colin Moriarty, when I announced Colin was going to come on, there was people like, why would you bring him on? And I'm like, I'm a fan of Colin. Like, I love Colin. I think Colin is what the industry needs. We need someone like that that's not afraid to say what's on their mind and do what they want to do. And So for me, like I'm a small guy catching heat for it. Imagine a guy like Ninja has the wrong person on, and the next thing you know, like his career is done, because that's and that's where I and I even talk about that, like in the video I did about Ninja, I'm like, dude, a few days ago the internet hated Philip Mewson. Now they hate Ninja. Now today they're back on Philip. It's like they're so like fickle, man. They go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it's like this is madness.
Yeah. I also think that something that I don't think we even talked about was the community with girl streamers is still very, very toxic. I'm a big fan of Miss Click. I go to her streams and watch her play and stuff like that. And it's just like some of the comments in there, like I wish I was a moderator sometimes. And it's unfortunate because like it's a girl playing video games, and it's just like the comments, it's just nuts, and something that, fortunately you and I don't have to deal with.
Yeah, no.
But I think that's another part of it. It's just like the disconnect between like girls and video games. It's just like this weird dynamic that we're still not over yet.
Well, the thing that I think bothers me a little bit is people can't show up to a stream and tell just by watching if a girl is there streaming because she plays video games and truly loves video games, or she's just there flaunting her body and trying to make money. A girl like Miss Click, like, dude, she's not revealing anything. She's wearing normal clothes. She's playing the game. She's all in. You know what I mean? And then there's girls on there that are just like half dressed, and they're just like kind of like jumping up to look in the camera, like look behind the computer, and their cleavage is popping in the camera stuff. It's like to go into a Miss Click stream and talk trash to her really pisses me off. Like really bothers me. But then when you look at like someone else's stream, and it's like, I may not be as defensive in that perspective, because I look at the source and I go, okay, well, you're kind of asking to get a little brutal. Not, again, don't bully, don't attack, don't even say things derogatory, because just the way someone's dressed doesn't give you the right to say things. Yeah. But at the same time, like, you got little kids that are there, and it's just, they're little kids you can't control. They're going to say whatever's on their mind. And sadly, in our community, like, there's some adults that act the same way. But, like, it really bothers me when someone like a Miss Click, who's genuinely a gamer, genuinely loves video games, and she catches heat for it. And it's like, oh, God, I'd like to grab these guys by the throat sometimes. It's really upsetting.
But,
okay, so the one other thing, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about. Real quick, again, if you guys want to jump into the conversation, you just want to say something, you want to tell us we're idiots or whatever, you can absolutely do that. You just jump into Pat's Discord channel, go into voice channels, go to general voice chat, and then Pat will bring you over. Crashy, don't be afraid to talk to us. It's okay. You can come over and say hi to us. Like, come on. I seen you said that you were like worried about holding a conversation. It's fine. But that aside, so Mario Aces 1-2 Switch bundle. This got announced today. Walmart, I think a Walmart exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah.
Both games are digital games, and they're coming. The box looks pretty sexy. Like,
the box looks cool.
I'm like, wow, this is pretty awesome. But what's your take on it? What's your feelings?
Well, I was just gonna ask you, like, okay, so 1-2 Switch is an interesting game to say the least. It was a full price game. I think that's kind of like the biggest thing against it. Yeah. Does the story of the Switch change at all if that game's included in the original bundle? Because obviously they can afford to do it. I mean, this bundle's $350 with 2 games. Yeah. So it's just kind of, I would love it if it was included, man.
So wait a minute, it's that bundle's $350. I didn't even recognize that. It's really $350. So they're still banging down full price on this thing.
I mean, essentially, you're getting one game for free.
Well, okay. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, because the Switch is $300. I'm thinking the Switch is $200. Why am I thinking that? So, yeah, the Switch is $300. So you're getting Mario Aces for free. Or you're paying for Mario Aces, and you're getting 1-2 Switch for free, essentially.
Yeah.
I kind of was on that board of like, man, 1-2 Switch should have been packed in with this console, because I felt like 1-2 Switch was a tech demo. It showed off what the Switch could do, all the different things. Absolutely should have been included. I think it's a smart move for Nintendo. I would actually take it a step further, and I would start to include this more moving forward with a Mario Odyssey, with Breath of the Wild, things of that nature. The other thing that I think, and I just want so badly, like I won't move on this at all, but man, just one day, I want them to like go, hey, the dock is red. The Joy-Cons are red. The back Switch plate is red. Like everything is red about it. Dude, I will buy one again every single time. Like I would double, triple dip on a Switch if they would just make a truly special edition. Dude, if they would have done a Splatoon 2, where like there's splatter marks all over the dock and like on the back, and like you did the red and the green, or the pink and the green Joy-Cons, and like the
or
Joy-Con,
even similar to the Pro Controller, because there's like black splatter.
Yeah. Like even the Joy-Con, because I think I have it back over here, the Pro Controller. Yeah, see it right there over my left shoulder there. So even me, like if you did something special like that, like I'm all in for that. Like that would be amazing, man. Like
this does nothing for me though. This bundle,
no. Even
as a consumer, because you're paying. I mean, you're pretty much forced to buy one of these games, and these games aren't exactly, I wouldn't say they're some of the best on here. It's going to be interesting to see if they come out with like a Smash bundle, which this is like the best of the greatest hits of Smash. I definitely think that you should go all out with this. The European we were talking about on PNP, the European box thing, that's amazing. Like you Europeans, you lucked out on that one.
That hit yesterday on, I think, Amazon. That ships to the United States. People were sucking them up yesterday. But my thing is, I think this is a good move, and this is why I think it's a good move. You get people to jump on a Switch, right? They're getting a couple of games. Like, this is a good Christmas gift. This is good for mom and dad that are looking to buy a Switch for their kids for Christmas, and they go, I'm going to buy that one because it comes with 2 games. And from Nintendo's perspective, honestly, at this point, why are you going to pack Odyssey in there? Why are you going to pack Breath of the Wild? You know that you're selling those games. Mario Kart, why pack it in? You know you're selling those games. Aces, it's kind of an iffy sale. Like you're not guaranteed to sell it. But the thing, if you notice, what they're doing is that bundle is a motion control bundle. Like
I was just gonna say that.
Like Aces you can play like tennis, like old school Wii. And then like 1-2 Switch is very Wii Sports ish, like in terms of like you're doing all these different gimmicks and stuff. I think it's a good move. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's a really good move. Like I still think that 1-2 Switch, if you packed it in, I think it'd be like, besides the game. I mean, the game's like subpar or whatever, but it's a game that makes you laugh and makes you just like look at the people that's doing it. Because I remember when they were first showcasing this game, I loved watching people do the milking game, and it's just like it creates a conversation there. I think this is genius, this bundle. The more we talk about it, I'm loving this even more, especially with the swing mode in Mario Tennis. Just it's a definite family bundle.
Well, because the thing of it is they're trying to, without really coming out and saying it, they're trying to rekindle that love for the Wii all over again. And this is for honestly, this is the casual bundle. This is the thing, like, when you looked, besides bowling, when you looked at Wii Sports, the system, the thing that got people excited was tennis. So it was tennis and bowling. They were the two big ones. Golf a little bit, but not as much. So I think you look at this and I go, this, for me personally, I look at this and I go, this is a great move, man. This is a smart move. I'm all for it, man. I think it's really, really good.
Have you tried the motion control?
No.
On the Switch?
No. I'm not really a fan of motion controls at all.
Okay.
Like, if they put Wii Sports on the Switch, Wii Sports Resort on the Switch, day one purchase, I'll buy it full price. I don't care, because I love those games. I loved bowling. I love tennis. I really love the 3-point contest in Wii Sports Resort. I love the archery in Wii Sports Resort. I would like them to do a Wii Sports Deluxe and just throw it all together. And I would buy it day one. No questions asked. I'd jump all over that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. That's what made me even give a look at Go Vacation. Was because I thought, like, oh my God, this is kind of cool. But
when that goes down, I'll probably snag it. But
I'm not paying full price for that thing. Because, after talking to Joe basically killed me on that one.
Yeah. Crashy has a question.
What did she say?
In the chat. By the way, I have a topic for you. In Swiss, they're holding a Switch Labo workshop for kids soon. Kids and parents getting together to Labo together. Is that a good strategy to introduce to people? Didn't they do something like that here?
They did that. They did do that here. I think Labo is a very smart idea for families. It's very similar to Legos in the terms of like you get people and families together to sit in the living room and build things together. Obviously, the age has to be right for children to be really into this. But like the last time we did this episode, Labo was a thing again. We brought it up, and the 2 kids that called in, both kids loved Labo. One was 7, one was 9, something like that. Like that was the ages. When I had Chris Johnston on NintenTalk Live, he talked about him and his daughter doing it. They enjoyed it. He said his daughter was just a little bit too young to really get into it, so that was a thing. I think that like the more people you can actually get this in the hands of, family-wise, it's a good move. You know what I mean? Like it's something different other than, because here's the biggest thing. Nintendo is in the world of like, we need to do things that are differently, just because of the fact of like, so often parents are just like, oh, you're sitting in front of the TV playing video games again. Like you got to go do something. And this gives you that different perspective of like, hey, you're not just playing video games in front of the television. You're using your mind. You're using some creativity. Like, I think it's a good idea. And especially, like, if you customize it and, like, put the stickers on it and do all the extra stuff that goes along with it. Me, personally, I think it's a good idea. What's your... I know you're not a huge Labo fan, but go ahead. What's your take?
I'm not a big Labo fan, but my question is, so you go to this workshop, you build it, you play with it, and from what I've heard from several people, the mini games aren't substantial at all.
No, yeah, they're not.
So if you're building it, you're playing with it at this event, what incentive do you have to go out and buy it? I feel like...
Well, because you also have to remember they have the new 3rd pack, which is, I believe there's more to this thing than it is. Plus, let's be honest, Nintendo's going to be smart. They're going to be like, hey, build this motorcycle. Okay, now go play Mario Kart with it. And I think
that's true.
That's going to be, because if you pay attention to Mario Kart, like there's actually a lobby for Labo Mario Kart where you can race motorcycles on it with this Labo motorcycle contraption that they created. So I think that's a good idea, honestly. Like it depends on how they do it. If they're just like, hey, here, build the fishing rod. Oh, okay, there you go. You're gonna fish. Oh, you're bored. Okay, no problem. That to me is dumb. But if they can set it up to it's a point where it's like, hey, you're gonna play this fish, you're gonna play this, build this motorcycle, and then go play Mario Kart. Like everybody's gonna be like, that's kind of cool. Like think about it. Who owned a Wii wheel for Mario Kart?
Yeah,
I did, because I was stupid. I saw it and I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna do it. You know, so I think it's very similar.
I think when the moment that Labo integrates with a Nintendo game or a Nintendo franchise or whatever, then I'll reevaluate it. But I don't know. I feel like, to answer your question, though, I think Labo can only benefit from, hands-on. It's a very hands-on thing. And I feel like parents just seeing the box, they're probably still not even going to get what it is. So,
yeah.
You put a toy in one of their hands, you start building. So, yeah. I think it's a good idea.
So we're up on the hour, but I just want to talk about one other thing before we wrap this up. So I put a Twitter poll out there.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this.
And it was basically
the boys came through.
Let's do a fantasy Well, I have a gripe that I want to pick with you, and we're going to get to this in a second.
Okay.
All right. So it was a fantasy splatfest. Team NintenTalk versus Team Guru. In the last minute, you swept in and took the lead and beat me. But the crazy thing that I don't understand is, so Sean Capri today went over 1,000 followers on Twitter, right?
Wow.
And then all of a sudden he said all his Twitter followers disappeared. So what I think is, he said 15 Twitter followers disappeared. What I think happened was you made 15 accounts up, ran up the votes, followed Sean Capri, and then once the poll was done, you deleted the accounts, and now...
I see.
So that's what I think happened.
Here's what happened, Bobby, okay? You start a Splatfest. Everyone knows Daddy Splatoon is here.
Oh, so really?
You start a Splatfest, and just like in a normal match, I come from behind at the end, and we take the victory. I think that's what happened here. So
okay, so here's the thing. It was very close. It was I think it was 20 votes to 18 or something like that. Like the number, it's crazy because the votes really didn't do. I didn't get as many votes in as I thought we were going to get. I thought we'd get a lot more.
Yeah, I know.
But whatever, it's fine. I think it was like 38 votes, so it was like 20 to 18 or whatever it was. Normally my polls are like over 100 votes when I get it, but I guess people are just like whatever. But here's the reason why I did that. Because I would like to probably in a week or two to challenge you to a 4v4 squad up.
Ooh.
You pick your 4, I pick my 4.
Oh, man.
But it's going to be a draft thing. So what I want to do is I want to get, 6 other players, right?
Okay.
6 other players to say, I want in, right? And then you and I draft. Like, so it's not a matter of, like, you can just, you handpick and, like, you go secretly and pick up 3. We say, who's the 6 that want to get involved? And then you and I sit down on the live show, and we draft out my 3, your 3. And then the 4 of us do a best of 10. You know.
I'm down.
And whoever wins the most matches after 10 matches, we can stream it live so people can watch it. And that's what I say we do.
I kind of had a feeling if this wasn't a competition, I'm a little let down. I'm down, man. Splatfest. We're gonna do it
because we haven't done, and it would be very similar to a Splatfest. Like it would be Team Guru versus Team, NintenTalk.
Yep.
And we could just work it out and see who could win. It'd be pretty awesome.
I'm down.
Okay.
Get the hashtags going.
Let's go. So that is all. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Red Shell Radio. You can check this podcast, or this show. We have a podcast format now. Go over to iTunes. Subscribe to iTunes. You can check this out. We can listen to it in the audio format. So, Rybo, I know you're a big fan of RSS feeds and all that good stuff. Planet Nintendo Podcast is coming very soon, Rybo, I promise you. But you can go, subscribe, all that. Please subscribe. And then when you're in there, please rate the show. Put a little 5-star rating in there for us to help us boost the ratings on this show and get us up in the ranks and all that stuff. So, Patrick, have anything to say on the way out here?
No. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And this is, for those of you, this might be your first. It's going to be a bi-weekly show for now.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to call in. We're not that intimidating.
Exactly. We're not that bad. It's fun. It's all fun. It's all fun. But so that is all. Real quick before we do, follow Patrick over on Twitter at NintenTalk. You can follow me. Just go over to nintendoguru.com. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Peace.